All right. I'm ready to talk about skills, which is the other component or ingredient, as we were talking before, of cognitive development.
Yep, we were saying that cognitive development, it's not only academic knowledge, to
Yep.
gain academic knowledge, and it's basically divided in three components, which are disposition, check the previous video, and now we're going to talk about skills. Skills are also called soft skills. It's abilities that the child has to have before trying to uh, offer, or in some cases packed up a bunch of academical knowledge. And these are attention, observational skills, analysis skills, decision making, problem solving, and the big one, memory.
Which is probably the one that academic knowledge uses the most, I would say. Well,
Yes,
maybe
it's
not,
more
but
evident. It's
it's very
directly
evident.
linked. It's very evident the relationship between one and another, and it is something that it's very evident that not only in academical knowledge acquisition, but also in the day to day, right? It
Yeah.
happens with my daughter. Can you please do A, B, and C? And she does half of A, and then she forgets what were the rest. And it's not like she doesn't want to behave or listen to the authority or whatever. She honestly just forgets about
Forgot.
it. So the point is that anything here can be developed, can be learned. As we said in the previous video, there's something that you did not have, but you actually worked on it, how to share attention with another person and control your attention while you're having a conversation. All of these things, if it is true, yes, it is true. There are some that some kids are gonna kind of like develop so naturally, and it's like a personal ability that they have, personal strength, so they're gonna just fluently develop, and you don't have much. You need to understand that this is not you have it or you don't. All of these skills, as it is with basically all skills in general of development, can be developed and can be worked on. So attention, a lot of parents talk about this, a lot of teachers talk about this, and you can do games, and you can show with example that you also pay attention to what your kids are telling you. You can make games that makes them or invite them to switch their attention to one part of the other of the process that you are developing. It's basically being able to focus in something, in some sort of sensory input or information that is coming towards you. And it also includes the ability to block some sensory inputs that are coming. Like if I'm talking here to you and in another room someone is calling you, either you have to shift from here to there or just block that one and stay here with me, right?
Yeah, which is so important for future learning because it really allows you to focus.
Yes. Something that's very important to point out about attention is that you cannot expect the child to have huge attention lapse, on time, because it is not the way it develops. It amazes me how some people expect that a preschool child or even on elementary school just sit down through an entire 45 minutes, 1 hour class, 1 hour
that's
class.
pretty absurd.
It's not gonna happen. 15 minutes into it, you lost all of them.
So probably less than that. Yeah. We have a video. We created a video about attention span and like how it increases with age. And yeah, I mean, I think you were saying that the formula for attention span is something related to the age, correct?
Yep. It's
so if a child
a minute per year. It's okay. Yeah, and,
So
and
yeah,
you're
so
lucky if your child can do more than that. But yes, and the formula to make this work when you need to go through an entire, I don't know, 45-minute period of time doing an activity, if you're doing activities at home or at school, is to exactly shift between something that it's
chunks.
sedentary and receiving information, and then do something that is more active, on which they have to interact or move their bodies or just have a little pause to let them, you know, extrovert a little bit, and then they
Yeah.
can regain this focus of attention more passively.
But I think that's, I mean, that is true for kids that are probably over 5 years old. I think that under 5, it's very, very difficult that you're going to be able to go back with the child to, you know, to that specific thing that you were doing.
You have to make it
Once,
extremely fun and
yeah.
interactive if you want to push the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
the time period there. But yeah, it is very important to know that attention is a must have, but it's equally important to understand that you cannot
Force it.
hope even and force
Yeah,
for big periods of time in smaller kids.
correct.
Then we have observational skills. The I spy with my little eye, the where is this figure in a drawing, which come in different levels of difficulty and complexity. You're not gonna ask a very difficult image and a very tiny object to look for a small child.
A child.
You're gonna start with things that are easy, even if you can start with things that are less in the realm of ideas, less abstract, like a picture. You try to ask them to look for something in the environment, which is I spy with my little eye, but you can make some tweaks there and hide objects on plain sight in the house. It's not a exclusive game of a road trip, right? So many times, so many times, and I think everybody's gonna feel identified with this. It's like, Mom, where is my X thing? And
Yeah.
it's right in front of them. It's in their room. I mean, I don't use your X thing, and why would I know what it is? I just go to your room, I open my eyes, and I look for it. Well, this is an example of observational skills, like actually open your eyes and see, blocking all of the other visual stimulus that are around.
So the best way to answer that, you know, is take a deep breath because I know it's frustrating and make it a game.
Yes. If you
Oh,
can make
you're
everything
going
a
to
game,
find it next to a green something
yes,
that it's closest to your bed and see if
yes,
they find
yes.
it.
But this also applies to things that are not that straightforward, like looking for things around, but also to see why things happen, what is the cause and effect of things, like being able to actually observe what's going on there in a full process, not only in specific things. And this is a great source of endless conversations with the kids. And as you were saying in another video, they can come up with the most amazing comments and
I love
questions and
that.
answers and reasonings. And it's very entertaining for us as adults to listen to
To
that,
hear.
you know?
Yeah, I
So there are
agree.
a lot of things that you can do to improve observational skills. And I think it's very evident when you're having issues with that skill. And once you have pinpoint or realize that there's an issue there, just make it a game in different situations and help your child to develop it.
Yep. That's, yeah, I mean, there are plenty of things that you can do, you know, to have fun with our kids that teach them observational skills.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were saying, sorry, I don't know why I'm losing my voice.
It's
As
okay.
we were saying in the previous video, many times we tend to run an answer for the
Mm-hmm.
kids and help them find the things real quick. because that's how we do things, you know, like we think it's, you know, it's faster, simpler,
Mm-hmm.
but let's not kill that ability and enhance it through, yeah, just making it a game.
Yep. Then we have analysis skills, like being able to observe, reason, come up with ideas, hypotheses, solutions, possible solutions. And this one, it's even more that issue that you were talking about. Like we just go and explain why things are happening or what the
Yeah,
solution, the proper solution is. Here, what you can do to help your child to develop this ability is to begin with very absurd situations. I mean, situations in which the solution is kind of obvious, right? If I'm putting my shoe on my head, let's now analyze what's going on here. What am I doing wrong? Because it's pretty obvious to the child. Do absurd, goofy things and ask them to help you to solve the problem. So you're not just waiting for a problem to present itself in life, but you're creating a problem that's very fun, silly, and absurd for the child to feel that
to
they can
solve, right.
analyze and solve it and help you be part of the solution. Later on, it's going to become less evident, less absurd, the problem that you're introducing, and they're gonna present themselves the problems or the situations that need to be solved. And then the kids can come up with solutions that are not quite right. And sometimes what you can do is just try that solution. If it's safe, of course, if it does
Yeah,
not put you or your child in danger, try to use that solution and see, this is not really working, right? So let's try to come up with another. If you find difficulties doing this, then suggest a couple of solutions. Again, if the difficulty is very strong, then you can suggest an absurd solution and a right solution. Later on, you can give not absurd solutions and real, very workable solutions. And then you can start giving many solutions, not only two, but three, four, and let the child come up with what he or she
the
thinks
right
is the
solution.
right one. Sometimes later on, you can ask the reason behind
Why they
their
chose that.
reasoning.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, why do you think this is better? And so on. And whenever they come with a problem to you, because life has problems, and even small kids are gonna have those problems. Like, I want the toy, but my friend wants the toy, or I wanna watch this program, but you wanna go outside. Ask them to suggest solutions and be part of this process of not fixing, but sorting out what it's
the
life
issue.
presenting with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something my daughter has been going through this phase a lot is that, you know, like you hear your kids nagging about everything. And I know it's nerve-wracking. Like when it happens many times throughout the day, it just, like, you know, it takes a toll on you because
I
it's
am
that
done.
and you think that you know, their problems are so small and your problems are so much bigger that, you know, like um you tend to dismiss their problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's important to actually listen to them and tell them, well, I know you're frustrated, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna be able to find any solutions, you know, by either crying or nagging or whatever, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the word is.
Fighting at
um
me.
exactly, screaming. So let's try to find out a solution. Why do you think? And it's been tough with Azul because oh my god, sometimes she's like, and I think it's because she's the only child among so many adults that,
Mm-hmm.
of course, it's very easy for her because, I mean, you know, um, we all try to make sure that she feels fine and she feels good, and we try to make it easier for her. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that in a way, we're taking away that opportunity of, well, let's make her find the solution, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, so yeah, it's I know it can be frustrating, but it's always better to, you know, understand that they're frustrated, and they have the whole reason to be frustrated. I mean, like, the fact that they don't think about your issues doesn't mean that they're not going to see them eventually. Is that they're not experiencing those issues. I mean, you're experiencing
and
problems that are a lot more complex than theirs.
and they are as complex for themselves as your problems are for
Yep.
you. I mean, for them, it is a huge deal. It is an
Yep.
important deal. My toy, I cannot find my toy, and I wanted to take it to the play date or to the
Yeah.
doctor's appointment. Maybe they're finding security in that toy. And I mean, it's really important. It's extremely important. So try to see it from their perspective, right?
Yep. Yep.
One that is very similar, it's decision making. And people tend to confuse this to analysis and problem solving, but decision making does not necessarily come from a problem that's being introduced or an absurd situation or something that needs to be solved. It's just decision. Either you want vanilla ice cream or you want strawberry ice cream, but I'm going to give you one ice cream. And you need to decide, or do you want to put on this clothes? A
Oh,
difficult
Nata.
part of the
One.
day, right? This being, what am I going to wear?
I think the connection was cutting off a little bit, so I don't know if you want to repeat
Okay,
that last
I'm
part.
going to repeat it. That it's not to solve a problem, but to make a decision. You want to wear this clothes or this other? Or do you want to put on these shoes or this other? And this can become a real problem, especially things involving getting ready. Because
Oh
you
my
want to
God,
go out
yes.
of the house on time, you have to go to the appointment, you have to go to the school, or you have to
Oh
be
yes.
somewhere. And you know, and they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna put these shoes. Even now, I mean, my daughter is 14, and the other day we were going out and she was ready and she was at the door, and that was not at the door yet, and she decided to change shoes when we were already at the door. So what ended up happening was that she grabbed the shoes and walked barefoot out of the house and carried the shoes to the elevator. And I mean, usually I will be kind of like, not upset, but I wouldn't be so comfortable with it.
Annoyed.
But this time I was annoyed, because I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic and I don't want her walking barefoot outside of the house. It is just the hallway from the door to the elevator. We're in an apartment, but still I was really not happy about it. So this decision making is not going to, as analysis and observational skills, is not going to be fully developed in your child. Don't try to say like, oh, but it's 8 already. Okay, mine it's 14 already, and it's not fully developed.
Yeah.
Sometimes even myself, I don't know what to wear. Well, not what to wear, because I have a system. I just put whatever is next on the closet, and I always storage my clothes in in the
Oh
other side of the
really?
closet.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's new. I didn't know that.
Oh, I don't like spending time on what am I going to wear. So, but other
Interesting.
things are more difficult, and sometimes like, what am I going to cook
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
or which book am I going to buy for my kids to study on their homeschool, because I have
Oh,
plenty of options, and you have to make a decision. So it's, don't expect your child, being a child, to have this fully developed, but create situations in which they can practice practice makes perfect, and develop this skill.
yeah. One of the things that I remember I learned early on through a positive discipline class that I took
Mm-hmm.
was give them a limited
Option.
choice, right?
Yes.
Because when you limit, you know that, and limited means, especially, you know, like, really depends on the age, but we're talking about a child of maybe, you know, 2-3 years of age. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to give them two choices, so it's not absolutely overwhelming for
Yeah.
them.
Whole
um,
universe of.
exactly, so it's a binary option. Is it this one
Yeah.
or this one? um, but then also you're allowing them to have that feeling of, I chose,
Yes.
and
I'm in
not
control.
I'm in control, and it is not that my mom or my dad sort of push it,
Hmm.
uh, or push that decision for me. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's
I
very
think
important.
that's a really good way of allowing
Which
the
made
child
me
to,
think, yes, sorry.
no, to allowing to to choose and to have like experience that decision making process, but limiting it so there's no further issues arising.
Difficult and time consuming, which makes me think about something that we do with older kids when we have a bunch of options and it's not on me to limit those options, like you are saying, or the situation does not allow me to limit those options. My kids take courses online, and sometimes we have like a list of 10 courses. So they have to pick one. Which one are you going to do next? But
Oh
just
my
pick one,
gosh, yeah.
because time, it doesn't allow us to just take the 10 courses and in top of that do the rest of the curriculum and activities and whatever.
Yeah.
So what we do is open the 10 classes in different pages, and instead of choosing which one you want to do, choose one to take away. What is your least favorite, or the one that does
Ah,
not call you to do right at the moment? And then you have 9, and so on. Keep eliminating
shedding.
options. Yes,
Oh,
until they only have 2 or 3, and then they can pick, what, between this, I want to do this one. So that also works with maybe older kids because it also will consume a bit more of time. But there are situations in which it works better.
that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that's a very good way of deciding. It's like when you're in front of the cereal in the supermarket.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite? This one, this one, this one. This one has too much sugar.
Yes.
I think
It
that's an
works.
issue that every single adult has. Which cereal to pick in the
Yes,
supermarket.
absolutely agree. And then we have the last one, which is memory. And I think is so, as we say in the beginning, so evident the link between memory and these soft skills that
Hmm.
it's easier for parents to know or identify activities that they can do to help their kids to develop memory. You can play cards, make pairs of the cards, memory games, talk about your day, retell a story that you read or that they read by themselves. Um, Look through pictures. We talk about this in another video. Look through pictures for a family holiday or vacation or meeting, and ask them to recreate,
To
not
remember.
recreate, to
Hmm.
remember, to recall the incidents and whatever happened.
What
It's
happened?
very
Yeah.
straightforward to work on memory, but not make the mistake to not work on it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it is
Memory
a
is so important.
straightforward, and there are so many ways to work on it, and sometimes we just don't do it.
Yeah, I
How
agree.
was your day at school, or what did you play with your friend, or what happened in the TV show that you were watching or in the book that you're reading, and so on.
Something that I really love that they used to do about in school, in Azul's school is um, I, I'm trying to remember how they call it, but it was basically um, sort of writing what was the favorite part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only trains the memory, but it also actually allows them to be more conscious about
Yes.
their life.
Yes.
um, Something that I realize about me growing up is that, and I think it's because it wasn't something that you were taught necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It was to do those kinds of sort of um, regressions about your day, and being thankful either about the day or analyzing, well, this was not a part that I liked about my day. um, and it really, and in a way I think that it also affects the analytical part, the
Yep.
um, the analysis of skills,
Mm-hmm.
because it takes away from that, okay, what didn't I like about my day, what I love about my day, what would I change about my day, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really interesting, little game that you can play with your kid, maybe at night, when they're going to bed. So what was your favorite thing of the day? What was your least
Mm-hmm.
favorite thing of the day? We used to actually play it at dinner.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, it's a very simple game, but I think it helps in many ways with
Many
memory and analysis skills.
ways. Yes, it
All
is
right,
very, very powerful. So
that's
have
it.
fun playing games.
Yeah. So that,
And there are a bunch of activities to develop
Akil.
all of the skills in Achille. If you have not downloaded the app, or you know people that will benefit from the app and they haven't downloaded, just look for the link or look for the app in the app
App
stores
Store.
and download it. And there are going to be a bunch of games. They're only games because it is the best way to help your kids develop any skills.
Yeah. And the idea is that both of you have fun, not only the kid, but
Yeah.
you as an adult. Because I know
Yeah,
sometimes it's hard. You have to push yourself to do
it
these
is.
things with your kids. And we want to make sure
Oh,
that, not only the kid is having fun, but you're having fun as well.
yeah. So have fun.
All right, Nata. Have a good one. Thank you
You
so
too.
much for today's,
Bye,
and see you
everybody.
in the next episode of the last ingredient of cognitive development.
Yeah. See you then.
All right. Bye.
Bye.